Some of the worst drawdowns I've seen came after a trader became profitable. And if that surprises you, this video will explain why. Because profitability does not mean stability, okay? Profitability does not mean stability, okay? And what happens is profitability actually creates new problems, right? It creates new problems that most traders, they aren't prepared for, okay? And so what you have to remember is that confidence is very important. Confidence is a double-edged sword, all right? Confidence is a double-edged sword because once you can prove that you can make that money, right? Once you prove that you can make those racks, those dollars, you subconsciously loosen constraints, okay? And so what do I mean by that? Well, you start loosening your constraints by trading bigger size, right? So your size goes up. You start taking more trades per session. So your trades go up, right? And then even worse, you start ignoring no trade conditions. That's the worst one of all. You start forcing stuff when nothing's actually there, right? Because your confidence is increased. But this is what you have to remember. That all of this, right, is because your newfound confidence. But the market, right? The market hasn't changed one bit, right? Just your perception of your abilities have changed. And that's what I mean by confidence is a double-edged sword, right? Because you start doing all this stuff because you can make that money. But the market hasn't changed, right? Just your perception of your abilities. And so size, okay, when you start trading with increased size, that's going to expose your execution flaws, as I like to call it, right? Execution flaws, execution leaks, same thing. I like to call them leaks, right? But the market, it doesn't punish small mistakes at small size, right? It doesn't punish your mistakes at small size. It actually magnifies them, right? My little magnifying glass there. It actually magnifies them at scale, right? So that's my little mountain right there. It magnifies them at scale, okay? So you might have, when you're trading bigger size, you might experience, big emotional swings, right? So let's say you take a losing trade, your emotions are down here. Winning trade, you're back up here. 2 losses in a row, now you're back even worse, right? Now you're break even, and you're on a winning streak. Now you're in a losing streak, and your emotional, it looks like a broadening formation, honestly, but your emotional swings get bigger and bigger as your size goes up, right? Because you're not used to it yet. Just like training a muscle, you can't go bench 225 out the gate, right? You got to gradually increase it. It's the same thing with trading increased size, okay? So that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing when you increase your size. But the second thing, number 2, the second thing is your risk tolerance shifts, right? So your risk tolerance shifts, okay? And so you might be more willing to take, higher R multiple trades, right? Because you had small risk and you could stand to let the trade breathe, right? But the soon as you start increasing your risk, right, your tolerance shifts because now I used to take 3R trades, but you can't let your winners run, right? You have trouble letting your winners run because your P&L, right? Your P&L, profit and loss, is fluctuating so much dollar amount wise that you're not used to seeing, right? So your risk tolerance shifts. You start cutting winners early, right? And you start taking full losses, but you're not taking full profits. And that's something that will kill you, right? Because if you're taking full losses, but not full profits, then you're not letting the probabilities play out in your favor, okay? And so no wonder trading is not going to work for you if you don't let the probabilities play out, because you're cutting your winners early, but you're still taking full losses, okay? And so that's the second thing that happens, right? That P&L starts playing with you because it's a bigger number than you used to, and you start cutting your winners early, and the probabilities don't play out in your favor, okay? So the third thing that happens when you increase your size, right? The third execution leak that I see is most common. You start revenge trading even more, right? Like they say, more money, more problems, right? The third thing is revenge trading. You start revenge trading way more because, like we said earlier, that P&L starts to shift. And so when it does, you're not used to losing that amount of money, right? Let's say you're only risking like, I don't know, $1,000 per trade, right? But then you go and bump it up to like, I don't know, let's just say 5K. Not saying you should do this. Let's just say, for example, you bump from $1,000 to $5,000 per trade, which in my opinion would be a pretty big leap, right? More than triple what you're risking, right? So the moment you lose 5K on a trade instead of $1,000, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Well, you're like, oh my God, I got to make that money back, right? I got to make it back. And so then now you're not trading your system. You're in recovery mode, right? You're revenge trading. You're trying to make it back. And that is a huge mistake, right? Because not only are you trying to make it back, but you're trying to make it back with that increased size, right? And your risk tolerance is not where it used to be. So that's what I mean by size is going to expose your execution flaws, okay? Now, here's the kicker though. Here are the untracked variables, right, that most people don't see. Most traders, right, most people over here, okay, most traders, they track their P&L, okay? They track their win rate, okay? They track their R multiple, which is all fine, but they track their R multiple, but very few, okay? Very few traders, like this guy right here, they track their execution quality, okay? So this guy's different. He's in his own league because he's tracking his execution quality. Now, what do I mean by execution quality? Well, those are things like decision, here we go, decision speed would be the first thing, okay? Their emotional baseline, how they're feeling that day. They track their trade context quality, right? Trade context quality. And so all these things, accounts aren't blown by bad strategies, right? They're blown by unmanaged behavior, okay? So let me repeat that again. Accounts, they're not blown by bad strategies, okay? They're not blown by your edge. They're blown by how you don't manage your behavior, right? So unmanaged behavior. Unmanaged behavior. So the difference between these traders up here and this trader right here, he's tracking this stuff too, right? But he's also tracking his execution quality, and he's looking at how he's feeling that day. He's looking at how quick he's able to make those decisions, and he's looking at his trade context quality, right? In the grand scheme of things, what is the quality of this trade I'm about to take? He's not just pattern trading his, indicator or his setups or anything like that. He's aligning his bias. He's using all these things, right, to tell himself, hey, how am I feeling today? Is the market giving me low probability conditions, high probability conditions? Even though my setup's there on paper, is it wise for me to push the button today? Or do I need to wait for more information and just sit on my hands, right? That's what I mean by trade context quality. And so if you're not tracking this stuff, then you're going to blow your account because you're not managing behavior, right? So here's the thing. If you're profitable, but you're unstable, right? You're all over the place, then this is the phase where traders either level up, right? Or they implode under their own hand, right? Because you already know everything you need to know to be profitable, right? So more information is not the answer. It's really fixing your execution, right? More info is not the answer. And you probably know that, right? The answer is fixing your execution, okay?